What's up, Portland? John Taylor, founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And I'm Kristina Bullock, co-founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And we are your hosts for the show that brings you interesting people talking about what makes them unique,
What makes Portland unique?
and why Portland is such a great place to live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Things Portland show. I'm your host, John Taylor, along with my lovely co-host,
That's
Kristina Bullock. Yeah, so who and what do you have for us today, Kristina?
Well, today we have Kori, Giudici, and
Good job.
thank you. That took me a while. And Jacob Wollner with the Flipside hats. Yeah,
Flipside
they're going to
hats,
tell us about
absolutely.
their company, which is Eco-Conscious Hat Company, and we're going to dive into their infamous Portland package. And lastly, we're going to talk some commercial real estate today. So that's it.
So with that said, why don't you
Sounds like a
tell
good
us about
lineup.
Flipside hats and how that came about? And
Yeah, we started Flipside Hats in 2002, so we've been around a while. And it was, started small, started in the basement, grew to the garage, and then eventually to someone's bigger garage, and then we got a studio down on the Lower East Side. That was so exciting.
yeah.
That first place of outside of somebody's garage. When did that happen?
That was probably about 8 years after I started.
Well, yeah, so that's some time
You were in the garage for 8 years? And
Yeah.
then,
I'd say we were in the basement for most of that. And then word got around and we started growing, and so, yeah.
So what do you think that first 8 years about how many hats, or is it only hats? I'm thinking you have masks now.
Yeah,
so.
now we have lots of different products. We have about 40 different products. It started out really small because I was in medical school when I started this. And
yeah, she's a doctor, folks. That wasn't cool enough to have everything be eco-conscious.
Yeah, so I actually would get my friends to who were in school with me. I taught them how to sew, and then we would sew and study at the same time, and then I would pay them per piece, and then we would sell them in the hallway at school.
Yeah.
And we'd sell out. People love the hats. It's like, really? This is so great. And so then I started doing street fairs and kind of grew from there.
So this is like before Etsy. Like you
it
probably
was
would have
before Etsy.
You would
yeah.
have probably taken
Right.
off during Etsy too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was last Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. We used to do last Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. And
I
first
lived right off of
Thursday-
Alberta, so I've been to a few last Thursdays.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I only had one style of hat that I made in about 6 sizes. They were all reversible. They were all one of a kind. It was not a sustainable business model, even though it was a sustainable product.
Yeah.
And that's when Jacob came along, and he had his own business, and he was doing his own thing, and he said, if you made a hat that fit everyone and this and that, and
Gave
he
you
goes,
the
do you
lowdown
think you
on
could
how-
do that?
yeah.
I was like, yeah, let me put my mind to that. And so I did, and then boom, it just took off. So
Kori
So he knew what he was talking about.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Flipside wouldn't be what it is today without the teamwork that we have.
Nice.
It's really a dynamic duo. Kori is all about color and designing, and she is amazing at designing and color and putting things together into a complete package. So we were able to run with that, and people really responded to what she creates and does create. So
Yeah, I like people in general. I like all different
I can
kinds
tell.
of people.
I like you. I just met her today. She's lovely.
Yeah,
you
I
can
like-
probably hear it through the voice too,
I like all
right?
different kinds of people, and
Anybody
I
would.
like all their styles, and so I can relate. Even if it's something I might not wear, it's really fun for me to design, thinking about the person that's going to love that hat.
So how do you pick your materials? How do you decide which way to go to make it eco-conscious?
Yeah, so we started out doing all upcycled materials. So upcycled is kind of the same as repurposed. So people know what recycling is because
Right.
they put the recycling out, it gets melted down and made into something new. Upcycling is taking a product that's would go to waste, to a landfill, but then finding a new use for it. And so it stays as that product, but then we're finding a new life for that. And so there's a lot of fabrics out there that are either misdyed, the designer's like, no, that's half a shade off,
Right.
or it might have a flaw running all the way through it.
Okay.
Well, since we're actually making these hats, we can cut around those flaws. We can work with something that is half a shade off.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
That's where you find most of your just kind of runs of fabrics that weren't quite right for.
Right, and
Okay.
those would be limited runs. So now that we've grown so much, we're having to make something that's reproducible. So before we might have been able to do 500 hats out of that one, you know, those 4 rolls of material we got. Now we need to be able to make 20,000 hats, and so now we're
That's
moving.
impressive.
Yeah, so now we're moving into using organic materials and hemp and recycled materials and things that are eco-friendly, that are reproducible. It's pretty fun right now. We're actually working with Gather, Make, Shelter, which is a local nonprofit organization that supports the houseless population. And one of our friends, Dana Lewis, she's an artist, and she founded this because she discovered that there were a lot of artists in the houseless community, like there are artists everywhere.
Right.
And
Right.
so
Yeah.
we're working with a few people in that population to design fabrics for the upcoming seasons, and then a portion of the profits will go back to Gather, Make, Shelter.
Very cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious as far as how you said 20,000 now. It's like what are you guys producing as far as how many hats a year? Or I mean, I hear garage, it sounds small, right?
Yeah.
And now you're moving to a commercial. What does that look like in as far as numbers go?
Yeah, well, this last year has kind of been different.
Yes.
Yeah. Different for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, but in let's see, we do between 5,000 and 10,000 hats of a certain style a month. And so, you have a season, and then you have to be able to produce that for that season.
Wow.
So that's why we needed to move away from doing all repurposed materials, but we are still upcycling and repurposing materials and doing super limited runs.
Nice.
So,
That's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Like
Awesome.
from
I love
garage
it.
Good.
8
That's what
years
we
to
want,
like 5 to
Yeah.
10,000 hats.
Where
a
are you
month.
guys located now then?
So we're located on southeast
He knows.
southeast Portland on Belmont Street and 45th, right
Okay.
between Horse Brass Pub and Movie Madness.
So
Okay.
people can actually come in and like
We have
shop.
a showroom
It's not just
and a
online.
design studio and our sales
that's
office. We
huge.
welcome people in 7 days a week.
Nice. I had
Yeah.
no idea. That's very cool.
And so, COVID, how has that affected you? I know you had to pivot a little bit, and
A lot.
a
We
lot of
pivoted.
bit, yes. And so, tell us about your masks and what you guys have done with that.
Oh, yeah.
So we were geared up for our season, excited about what that would hold, and a lot of our retail partners that we sell wholesale to had to close their stores and weren't welcoming people in. And so we quickly understood that we needed to figure something out, and what that meant was working with our materials to create masks. So we were able to, within the course of a few days and in the week, shift all of our hat making facilities into mask production. And then we work with a lot of frontline workers in grocery stores to sell our products. So we were able to start distributing multiple thousands of masks in a week to all of our grocery partners.
Oh wow, you guys were out there doing it for everybody then, right in the beginning.
Actually,
so.
we were one of the first people out, like, providing masks. It was March 20th that we woke up and said, we know what we need to do.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
just
pretty quick.
Went in.
Very
and
early in.
I
on.
did
It's like a
few,
week after everything happened, right?
Yeah,
You were
and
just made the decision.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
I was like, this.
That's impressive.
It's now or never, you know.
Right.
And so I went and made like 12 different prototypes. We fitted them on different people, figured out the best one, made a video, put a newsletter together, put it on Instagram, put it online. Boom. It was like off to the races. And so
It really became clear to us when our friends who were performing procedures didn't have enough masks to for all their
Connected
procedures that
to
week.
the medical.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so that was really the inclination of we have friends that have a need here, and they're not able to get the right PPE and coverage, and so
Yeah, it's like they had their N95, but you know, they're doing surgery. If it gets blood on it, it's ruined. But they needed to use the same N95 for the entire week,
Right.
and so then they would use these cloth masks to put over it to protect the N95.
Oh, okay.
And,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that really drove the immediate need to get stuff out to our friends, get their feedback on what was working in their clinics and procedures, and then we quickly realized actually there's all these grocery partners that we sell hats to that are no longer selling hats, they're selling toilet paper, hand sanitizer,
Right.
and
Everything shifted.
they need coverage, right?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
now they're getting these mandates from their county health authorities and states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many masks do you guys think you guys produce? Or
We shifted, I think in our peak we were making about 4,000 to 5,000 a day.
Wow.
Holy moly,
So it's
that's
in
a
the
huge
hundreds
number.
of thousands of masks, and actually we donated
Wait, where are you producing all of this? Where is
right
that?
here.
Oh, wow,
right here.
That's incredible.
Yeah, is your materials local too? I think you shared with me, or as much as you
they're
can.
U.S. materials.
The U.S.
Yeah,
materials,
so
yeah.
a lot of what I source is out of L.A.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, but we've donated so many masks. We opened up like a donation hotline, and you know, when we first did this, it was madness, and we even had, you guys have a 10-year-old son. Our 10-year-old son was answering the phone, answering
How
questions,
cute. I
telling
love it.
people how to work the website and this
No
and that,
way.
and running
That's so
things
awesome.
out. I mean, he was a hard charger. It was
Yeah, I
pretty
love that.
fun.
Our son's been dragged around in the real estate business quite a bit,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah, he gets it.
It's fun
Yeah.
having him.
So
So-
they didn't let him go to school, but he could come in as an essential facility
Right.
and help us
Yeah,
get the masks out
absolutely.
the door and get people covered.
Probably learned a lot of good stuff during that time.
Right.
He
too.
learned a lot.
Yeah.
He's great with people, and so we did end up donating about 10,000 masks
Holy moly,
over
these
Okay.
the
numbers
course.
are crazy.
Yeah.
Over the course of like 2 months, and then once we were the U.S. were able to start getting imported masks. You know, there wasn't as much of a demand, and but people are still wanting masks because they want to know where it's being made, because a lot of
It's
it is
changing, yeah.
questionable of what the
Right.
facility is like where that mask is made, and that they're organic materials and they're also guaranteed. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I have some very uncomfortable masks that are questionable, I'm sure.
Well, now you-
Now I have very comfortable, and these are very beautiful too. So.
Way more fun. So I have another question unless you do.
No, go.
So
knock yourself out.
what other, actually before I get into, what other products do you guys sell on your just website store? What else do you have
All
offered?
sorts of hats and accessories, like we do scarves and hand warmers. We make ball caps using Pendleton wool, and our brims, like all the hard brims, they're made from recycled plastic. We do bucket caps, really nice bucket caps out
Yeah.
of wool and wax canvas, and
Nice.
we have beanies made from recycled cotton, recycled wool, Oregon wool.
So this is the place to go if you need anything warm on your
Yes.
head and hands.
Yes,
No.
you want to get cozy? Come
Yes.
on over.
I
Yeah.
love it. So,
So you had shared with me you have some sort of a give back program as well.
Yeah, we always have. A lot of it started with moms essentially coming to us and saying, my kid's school is having a auction
Yeah.
fundraiser, and will you donate to it? And said, well, sure. Well, what's your school about? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we donate product to fundraisers that are non-political and non-religious. So mostly focusing on health, education, and art.
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have one more question. I think we're running out of time here, but
That did go
hearing,
fast.
I know it goes by so fast,
It
right?
does, way
And
too
I know you
fast.
have probably way more stories to tell, but from beginning to now and being where you guys are now, how many times do you think, like, was there ever a time you
That
were
we
like,
got in a fight? No.
yeah, well, that's a whole different story,
Never.
right?
Yeah, that's a whole nother show that we can have you guys on.
We know about
Actually,
that.
that would be a good show. Couples who own businesses
Yeah,
together.
right.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
We've
Yes.
had a few on already. So.
It's a make it or break it kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So I guess, like, how many times where you've started and where you are now, like, were there ever times that you were like, this just doesn't make sense? Like,
No.
so it's always been just
actually, I
steady incline in growth.
yeah.
That's so cool. I
Yeah,
love that.
definitely. Economically, it's always made sense, but
Mm-hmm.
mentally, emotionally, there have been times where it was like, oh, can I keep doing this?
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of employees, and but yeah,
You guys have made it work. And
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
employees do you have now?
now we're down to 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's still a good amount of employees.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's impressive. I
Yeah.
feel like I have more
Absolutely.
questions, but we're
Well,
done
we can
on
take
time.
we can take a short break and we can have more
Yeah.
questions when we come
We are
back.
going to take
so.
a short break. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors, and when we come back, maybe we'll hear a little more about these hats and what else they sell, but we'll also talk about the infamous Portland package.
Have you ever thought about flipping your own home?
Need to sell but cannot afford the repairs? We have the solution for you.
With our Flip Your Own Home program, we can help you maximize your full potential profit.
For a free, no obligation 15-minute consultation, call or text us today at 503-382-7798.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are back with our guests, and we're going to talk about the infamous Portland package and what their infamous
Yeah.
Portland package is,
Yeah.
what ours is. Maybe Kristina will have a new one for us.
I don't know. I've not
Well,
read.
I want to go first in case you guys
Yeah.
have the same one I have.
So you
Yeah,
don't steal
jump
mine.
right
You
in.
don't steal it. Go first.
Okay. One of my favorite things and our favorite things to do
That's right.
is cycling in Portland. And so cycling from our house over to Clinton, Southeast Clinton, and then over the Tillicum Bridge, around on the waterfront, and then back up towards Mount Tabor. That would
Okay.
be number one. And we actually have a bunch of cruisers for when guests come so that we can do...
You guys are
Perfect.
loaded up. That's
You guys
amazing.
are set for the Portland package. Then.
Yeah.
So you're,
We
I
got
love
the
it.
bikes
Exactly.
and we bike the Tillicum from the east side. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
Where
neighborhood?
do you guys live?
We live in North Tabor.
North Tabor.
Oh,
Okay.
Lucky.
Yeah,
I
I got
love
it
that
a long
area.
time ago.
I
So
love that area very
Yeah.
much. So
yeah. It's so accessible. I love being able to walk everywhere.
that's a
you know.
pretty good bike then. Like
It's like 16 miles.
It's a few
Yeah.
miles.
We
Oh, not
just
too
we just
bad.
sold a house right. That's right. It's on the south side on Lincoln, like 71st and Lincoln.
South
and
Tabor.
and but it right up to the park. So which was
it's
kinda
super
cool.
quiet
Yeah.
street.
Yeah,
Like,
it's shady over there though.
No
Not
one-
shady in a bad way, but like trees.
A lot of
shady.
trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
house wasn't shaded, but yeah, like the park was fully shaded.
Yeah.
Well, that whole park is a lot of trees actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's my number
So-
one.
sorry.
Dream location.
So my number two, and a lot of people might judge me for this, but in the summertime, biking down to Oaks Park.
No judgment here.
This is the non-judgment zone.
I absolutely love how simple and rustic and old school that
Maybe I
place
could just
is.
let you take my son then.
Yeah.
Favorite ride? Favorite ride?
Right?
Not on my favorite list.
Yeah, I used to love amusement rides. My dad was way into it, and he loved roller coasters, and he and my grandfather would actually put me in the middle, and they would hold me up so that I was tall enough to go on the ride when I actually wasn't tall enough to
Oh,
go on
my
the ride.
goodness.
Yeah, hooked
Super
under the
safe.
arm.
Yeah, super
You're
safe.
still here though,
I know.
so.
So I started going on roller coasters when I was really young, and so when I was in medical school, we would take a study break and ride our bikes down to Oaks Park and go on one ride because there's no admission to get in.
Oh my goodness.
Used to
That's,
be,
so
you
the
could
doctors, the future doctors are biking.
Yeah, getting a thrill.
Yeah.
Going
Adrenaline
back.
fix.
Yeah.
Working
Wake us
on
up.
whatever wasn't enough. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go
You
hit
just
the
see
roller
all
coaster.
walks of life there, and there's the oldest. What is it? The Oregon there, Wurlitzer.
Yeah, the largest Wurlitzer west of the Mississippi.
How, you
Oh,
got,
really? I didn't know that.
Down in the,
What is
down
that?
in the roller ring.
In the
Oh,
roller
no
ring.
way.
Yeah,
it
they've got
hangs
an-
from the ceiling.
the old pipe
it's
organ.
amazing.
Oh,
Huh?
okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
so
Got
it's-
it. I didn't
it's,
catch
you know,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea. I still haven't been there,
It's
actually.
definitely
That
got
is
some history.
roller
so
skating rink.
Gotta
That's
get
on.
it.
Yeah, that's the
What's
one
the
thing.
rink is a wood floor too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's super old school. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
So that's
and
number
my
two.
third,
Yeah,
my
what's
third
number
one's a
three?
tie, but they're both in the same place. So Sunset at Mount Tabor.
What part do you like to sit at? Is there
Oh, the top.
the very, very top? Just go,
Mhm.
yep.
Yeah, just watch the city.
Looking west,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
clearly.
And then, of course,
Not
it's
east.
Sunset. Yeah. And then there's a little restaurant down there on the backside of Mount Tabor, north side, called Cocid, and that's just such a great lunch spot. So.
Was it somewhere else before? Did they
I
move
don't
there, or is
think
that just
so.
how long have they been there? Because I know
A few years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was
I
just
don't
trying
think
to
I've
figure.
even heard of it. I can't.
It's when I'm cutting
It's,
through
it's,
and
it's
I
a
don't.
tiny
yeah.
little
Yeah.
I think it's been
Hole in
6
the wall.
years now for them.
Whereabouts is it at?
where
60th?
Belmont comes to a T,
Oh, okay.
right
Yeah.
up by
Yeah.
Mount Tabor.
Right there. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's when I'm like
Probably
sneaking
driven by it
back.
a million times.
You have it's
Yeah.
where you have to make that left and you like end up in the neighborhood and you're
Yeah.
like,
you
where do
start-
I go
it's
again?
Easy to get lost up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the right to get back down to Stark or
Even though
whatever?
I've done it a million times, I get lost every
Get
time.
lost
I
at Cocid.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's-
would be
that's
like
the
just
key
park
next
and
time.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've said that probably every single time I go by because it does
Yeah.
look so cute. And the outside, they've always had tables, I think,
Uh-huh.
right?
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, she's actually, I think, a pretty well-known chef. I don't know names of anybody, but her food is amazing.
I've heard that, so we'll have to try
I'm
that
gonna go
out.
check that one out.
What about you? What are your?
What about you?
you?
What about you?
You mean where do I take my friends when they come in town?
Yeah, like
I like to
where's-
go up to Noble Rot and have a drink up there on
Yeah.
the Central East Side. You get a view of downtown, and it's just lovely up there. They have some
Still
nice
have not done
small plates. And
You haven't
Yeah,
been
you
to
have to
Noble
do that.
Rot?
No, I've
Yeah.
I think 2
It's really
birthday
good.
parties maybe
It's
I've
legit.
missed, and they were both there.
I was a little worried when Noble Rot moved from the
Ankeny.
Ankeny and 28th, and
That was
I thought, oh, what's going to
15
happen?
years ago.
And now it's just a short elevator ride up to the top floor, and
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Great
Yeah.
views
So
and
low
great
key.
food. Yeah, super
just
low
low
key.
key.
Yeah.
I've not had. How have you been there since all this COVID stuff? Are they still?
I have not.
It's hard to know.
Gotta make
who's
sure.
doing what.
Yeah,
it's just
so
right
hard
here
to
on
know.
Burnside, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was asking because maybe it's time to check it out.
Oh yeah,
So I feel like places are kind of
that's where
changing.
you can hear
and
more stories.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Go check it out and see more. What about you? Have you thought any other places?
Yeah, so my Portland package this week would be, so last week we went kind of east after, I just look at it like I'm picking them up at the airport. So last week we headed down Marine Drive and hit Salties. But,
Salties.
yeah, so this week I would go the east and I would hit, go down Marine Drive again, just take in the view there.
That's your jam.
But then we would cut over. We'd cut over to Troutdale, and we'd take the scenic highway. So a lot of people don't know that there's 2 ways to get out to the gorge. One is I-84, which is beautiful, but you can also cut over through Troutdale and then up through Corbett and take the old scenic highway.
This was a part of the original. This is
The
why
scenic highway,
the
yeah.
infamous Portland package is this.
This is how it started. Yeah.
Yes.
That was
When we were dating and he was
She's
trying
from
to
out of
show
town,
off.
so-
Oh.
So he did take me the scenic highway route. And yeah, that was
It was
fun.
part of the. It was
Wait,
part of the
I know.
package. So that's
What does this mean?
part of the package.
Because he was like telling stories and the whole thing, but like all the way to
when you drove that route,
It
there was
worked.
no Sugar Pine Drive-In. Right?
there was
There
no
wasn't
sugar.
the sugar.
Is that
plants.
it?
Yeah.
No, there was
that-
no.
I would hit Tad's.
Oh,
Tad's Chicken
classic.
and Dumplings right on the Sandy
Classic.
River. And then probably hit Crown Point, and then end up
Ooh.
at, take in that view. And then, of course, and then Multnomah Falls. You always end up at
This
Multnomah
is why
Falls.
there is
That'd
the
do
infamous
it.
package.
That would
Because this
do it.
was like, I'm like, do you do this for everybody?
They were different packages.
Like,
There was-
what's the deal?
It was
'Cause
the
I felt
Multnomah
like-
Falls package. Just for sake of the show, we just
Yeah.
call it the Portland package. But
Yeah.
it, we had the Cannon Beach package.
Yeah, in reality, depending on the guests you have coming, You
Yeah.
either have a nature package, a city
Exactly.
package,
Oh, yeah.
a mixed
The Oaks
package.
Park package.
But I feel like
Yeah.
the ones that I got were like the go-tos for any girls coming into
Oh.
town. You know, it was
That
like
is
a,
not true.
a
These were
reused
custom
package,
packages
which
just
is
for
why
you.
I started calling them the package and gave them a name because I was like, this feels recycled. Speaking,
Yeah.
feels like I've been upcycled here and
Turn
I've
it
done
around,
this
yeah.
before.
But
I
on
feel
the
like
flip
I'm
side,
on the
what
spot.
are yours?
Yeah, what's your
Oh,
event?
no, not on me.
packages?
Gosh, I don't know. So, Portland package for me, let me think about this. I think I've talked about sushi before, but I love sushi. That's like always where I want to go if dressing up to go out and sit down for a nice dinner. So I'll choose bamboo sushi.
Where did you go last night?
I went to it is a Lebanese restaurant down in South Waterfront. It's actually really nice. Do you like Lebanese food?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's I don't even know the name. It's like Al Khwar maybe, something like that, but really pretty restaurant. Actually, the way they've got it laid out, it's really pretty. Lights are gorgeous, colors are gorgeous, and it's a vibe over there. So, and the food is beyond good. It's delicious.
Yeah,
so.
restaurants for me are 80% ambiance and 20% the food. It's like whether I'll enjoy myself or not.
Well, and the server there, I mean, good looking as well. I don't know if that matters for anybody, but really good, like,
Drink a lot of
personality,
water.
like
Right.
family style. It's a family run business, so
Uh-huh.
like they treat you like your family. So, but it's also delicious food. So, it doesn't hurt that he's good looking at all. So. But yeah, that's like one of the places we go. And then for fun, I don't know. What do I usually do? I usually like to go to Edgefield. Like, I have family come in all the time. We do Edgefield, which I'm trying to think of something we haven't spoke about, though. So, because Edgefield is easy. Cruise around.
It's beautiful.
Wine,
there.
drinks, pop in and out of, and then they've got the room downstairs with the shuffleboard, darts,
yeah.
and all that, which I love playing games. Anytime there's music too, I love music. I lived in Austin, Texas before this, so.
What's the one we used to play shuffleboard at all the time?
Life of Riley.
Life of Riley.
Yeah, I
You
like
guys been
Life
there?
of Riley.
No, where is
That's a
that?
fun. It's actually like
in
a
the-
basement.
It's in the Pearl
bar.
District.
Oh,
Yeah.
We've got a little upstairs,
Oh,
but then
yeah,
there's
yeah. I know where that is.
Right by Ben and
basement
Jerry's.
too, and
Yeah.
so they've got shuffleboard and I think pool tables and
Yeah,
and
I usually like a divey spot actually if I'm going somewhere.
it's pretty
you know,
divey.
I don't know how long you guys have been in Portland, but my favorite spot used to be right up here, called. Oh my gosh,
Hungry Tiger?
Hungry Tiger. I know they moved, but it was the most dive bar.
I
And
just feel comfy at a
I
dive
would go
spot.
in there and shark these guys playing pool. There'd be all these old guys.
Unsuspecting.
Then I'd come in, I was like 20 something.
Like kill them and they're like,
It's
don't
still
worry.
there.
Wherever
Southeast
she goes,
Portland?
she's
It's
sharp.
like-
She's
Uh-huh.
like, Corey's here.
Deep now, but
She's like,
it's all
let me show
kind
you
of
how to
fixed
say
up
the
in
name
a
right
vegan
too.
place now. It used
Oh,
to
it's
be
different
like
now. It's not
wings
divey.
and whatever,
You
things
know-
that keep you from getting
You know
too
my
drunk.
dive spot?
Right.
It is like over in Montevilla.
Roscoe's.
Oh, I love Roscoe's.
Yeah.
So I love the
That's cozy.
the happy
Yeah.
hour at the observatory is ridiculous.
Oh, that is.
You can get everything you want under $12. Like if
It's
you just
so-
stick to one drink anyway.
Yeah.
But if you have more,
That's
you're
a
done.
big
You're
if,
done.
but-
There's a lot of great places right there. right?
Montevilla's got it going
Yeah,
on.
Roscoe's
Yeah.
is great. I don't know about that hot tub and tan place.
No.
so.
I heard
Yeah,
that's got it
maybe
going
not.
on, but it's
Yeah.
not for me.
I was like,
It's for somebody. But
it's gotta be not going on right now. Who knows? You probably some backdoor. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh,
I don't
let's-
understand how that place
now,
works.
are you
The
sure?
front looks closed, but the back door is still working. I don't know. That place always freaks me out.
That is funny.
Have you walked?
What's
I feel
What's
like
the
you guys
pizza
have seen
place there?
inside.
Flying Pipe?
We-
Is it
we
Flying
haven't
Pipe
seen
Pizza?
inside,
that's there,
but
or-
we're very familiar with the Montevilla
Have you tried
area.
the-
I took the tour.
the sushi place
Inside?
Yeah, I
Heavens,
went
yeah?
in.
No.
Yes.
there? Miyamoto.
Yes, I have. That's
Yeah.
pretty good too.
And then they have a little wine bar with jazz
I
right
like
up the street. They got
oh.
live music going on.
Is that where the beer and wine is with the patio in the back, or what's
No.
that
That's
place?
right. No, that's
Oh, that's the brewing.
it's right across from the
Brewing.
Academy
Yeah.
Theater. Is where the
Oh, I didn't
the
know
wine
about
bar
that
is
place.
with live music.
I never went past the brew.
I think it's called
place, so-
Vino. I think.
Yeah.
Something
And
like
and
that.
that's also the neighborhood that we're working on.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys are-
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't think I've ever made it that, but I do. I usually hit up all those spots, like if I'm on one. So, you know, a little daytime fun or whatnot, where one here, one here, one here,
Yeah,
kind
I
of type.
think the Montevilla area is underrated, and it's a gem.
Yeah.
It's got that old Portland feel, and it has some great restaurants. A new Lazy Susan went in. It's all char grilled.
Haven't
Oh,
been there
really?
yet.
Lazy
Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the
Is that
Paddy
right?
Longbon
right in
family.
the mix of where everything else
Yeah,
is at
yeah.
down
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
mhm, where Country Cat used to
Yeah.
Oh, the
it's
Country
that
Cat.
place.
That's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
the Country Cat's done.
be. No longer.
Yeah.
And Yahala's. I don't know if you've ever
I
eaten
do.
there, but
Some
that's a
Lebanese
classic.
for you.
I love
Yeah.
it. I've been there. Yep. But I last time I was down over there, they had a bunch of people in the street, like with trumpets, horns. I don't know if you guys saw that out there. It was like a Saturday, so yeah, you don't know what you're gonna find.
Like a
On
some
Monteville,
kind of
yeah.
celebration.
Well,
Yeah,
they
they
have-
just
they
like
have a
came
great
out of
farmer's
nowhere.
market
It was just a
birthday.
random
in the
like
summer, so
yeah.
Yep.
The farmers market's
their
really
market
nice.
just went all year, I heard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So I
Alright.
guess people must want their veg all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. You
Head
just
east.
do the whole mass thing, and they keep track of how many people are in there. So I picked
Yep.
up my neighbor's
I
actually
did
one
not
of the
go in. I
farmers
just
there.
drove by and saw them out there. So
Yeah, Genevieve, the Urban Acre. I don't know if you
That's
Oh, yeah.
cute.
have seen that. Yeah, so
Yeah, I've seen her little
Genevieve,
thing
she
there.
shares a backyard with me, so I get my veggies if I want them like through the fence.
you have your own farmers market.
You're
right
like
Yeah.
there.
you're like the rabbit.
What's ready over there? Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Love
So
that.
she's amazing. But
Everyone needs a Genevieve.
yeah, she supplies tonic, you know,
Some
the
good-
flowers.
Some
and all
good gems in there.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so
we-
thanks for sharing all those awesome places. We're kind of
I think
coming up where we need to take a break, but go ahead.
I think something should be mentioned for the late night happy hour at Nostrana.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've never been there for late night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after 10 they got the happy hour.
Good prices, good
You
food.
go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spot. Go find yourself a seat at the bar, and it's awesome.
I do know
Alright.
it's pretty there. On that note, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about some commercial real estate.
We wanted to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, and first of all, Gateway Brewing, PDX, and they are in the Northeast Portland Gateway District, and they have some amazing beers, and we've tried a few of them.
Yes, we have here on this show, actually. So I discovered the Pilsner is my favorite, even though I'm not really a beer drinker.
Yeah, and they have a great red, a great IPA, and a great stout as well, and some other ones he's experimenting with. So you can find them at Gateway Brewing PDX on the Instagram. I'd also like to give a shout out to the House of Rose in Bridgeport Village, and they make bespoke clothing, so custom clothing for men, women, and children, and accessories, and they can be found at
Instagram. Designs
Instagram.
by Thor.
Designs by Thor, that's the one, yes.
Yep.
Also, our preferred mortgage broker, Todd Johnson. It's the Todd Johnson team at Commerce Banking, and I've worked with Todd for years, and he does an awesome job. He thinks outside the box, and he's been able to get some of our clients some
Yeah,
loans
some-
put together when others couldn't. And so, Todd can be found at.
He is the Todd Johnson team on Instagram, if I remember correctly.
That is
but
the
yeah,
one.
that'll get you there. Todd Johnson.
Yeah, and then lastly, Homes with Style. So Joe Hughes is the owner there, and I've worked with him for years, and does some amazing remodel jobs and new construction if you need it, garages, ADUs, everything. So
He's
and
been building for about 30 years.
Joe's been building
Yeah,
for 30
he
years.
knows what he's doing.
He's hands-on and great customer service. So Joe can be found at, he's old school, so we're going to give you his email. So he's Joe at homeswstyleinc.com.
For a segment? Action.
we're back, everyone. We're back here at the GMP podcast studio on 24th and East Burnside, and we're back with our guests. We're going to talk about some commercial real estate, and they're in the midst of making a purchase.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
super
Making a
exciting.
Purchase,
Yeah.
not just a lease. This is a
Right.
big deal.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the right way to do it.
I know.
And so we just talked about Montevilla and all the great things there, and so you guys are getting your building there
Yeah,
as well?
that's our new hood.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That's exciting. So
Yeah.
how's that going?
It's been such a learning process,
Yeah.
you know. It was one thing to buy a house way back when, but then to embark on building, and Jake has really been the motivator on that, you know, as our
Business side.
as our rent at our current spot is just, you know, in Portland in
Increasing.
general, increasing. It's like, well, something doesn't make sense here.
Right.
So,
I love
so
it.
yeah, it's quite a learning process. But
So
we
are you in that
found-
little pocket that we were just talking about?
Exactly.
You get to go there all the
I
time.
know.
Yeah.
We're
For fun and for work.
yeah, we're 2 doors down from the Academy Theater.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Right in the mix. I love
Yep.
it.
I'll be making a pit stop actually at that wine bar there, seeing if I can. And
Stop
that,
in and get your mask.
yeah. So it'll be the shop as well, right? So you're moving out of that other spot when you do this.
Yes, entirely. Yeah. So we are we're doing like a historical remodel on the building, and putting in 2 storefronts there, and then having our operations behind it.
Isn't there like a wood or outdoor something on the right side of the street on the north
Milwaukee
side?
lumber.
Is that what it is? Are you guys close to that?
No,
No.
that's like a.
No, that's a
2
Milwaukee
blocks.
lumber is
No, there's a
Think of
different one.
Mr.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Plywood.
Oh, you're thinking of Mr. Plywood.
that one.
Mr.
Yeah. So are you
that's-
close to that or?
Close-ish.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'd say Academy is probably the big landmark, and Bipartisan Cafe is right across the street.
Oh, I know exactly where
So
that is.
2 storefronts. Are you going to lease out? You're going to have one for yourself and then lease out the other one? Is that
Maybe.
or 2 for
You
yourself?
know,
Yeah.
we talked about Flipside, but we actually have 3 different brands. Flipside is the one we've had the
Tell me
longest.
more.
But,
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
but we
Keeps
just
getting better.
Doctor, pool shark. Okay.
Cliff Diver.
Yeah, what else
What?
is there?
Wingsuit. What?
But we actually just launched a new brand called Hats for Healing, and it's about like it's time to heal. It's time to heal spiritually and physically and our planet. So you know, we say it's time to heal earth, body, and spirit. And so
I love it.
It is time. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's
That
like
speaks to
let's,
my heart.
let's change the dialogue of what we have going on in our heads and start believing in ourselves, you know. And it's one of the overarching things at Flipside is like love and light, light and
Yeah.
love, you know. I just have always found so much inspiration and truth in MLK, and you know his saying of, you know, you can't fight darkness with darkness or
Right.
hate, you
Yeah.
know, you gotta fight it with light.
Love. Yeah,
And-
love and light.
And yeah, it's just all about putting out what the best of yourself, shining that. And so that's what Hats for Healing is all about. And so we've kind of split up some of our hats that used to be in Flipside hats and now moved them into Hats for Healing because the vibe is entirely different. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around what was going on with Flipside hats. And so now we have these 2 distinct brands, and then we also have Portland Hat Company. So
Okay.
back to the real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so wait, Portland Hat Company. I feel like are they?
Are we?
Yeah. Is that something else? Is that all? I
That's
feel like
us.
I've seen that out and about too, or maybe across.
Yeah, it's new. You might be thinking of Portland Gear is another cool brand here in Portland.
I just saw that brand online
Mm-hmm.
Recently. Portland
Yeah.
Gear.
So how much space are you guys looking at for these 3 businesses that you?
It's about
Right.
4,000 feet.
For
Okay, that's a good size. Yeah.
decent size.
Yeah, it's decent. It's bigger than what we're in now, but it's hard to find a building that small, a commercial building that small so close in.
I was going to ask, how long did it take you guys to find the perfect building?
Not so long. I mean,
Is it-
Yeah.
we barely started looking, and it was, I would have never thought I was ready, but as soon as we walked in there, I was like, this is the building.
This is
this
home.
is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We had a plan to buy the building we were in, and we had a first right of refusal with the owner, and we were negotiating there, and he had an untimely passing. And so things didn't work out with the building we were in, and eventually it led us to this building in Montevilla that suits our needs really well and has a really great neighborhood. Everyone we've talked to in the neighborhood that we've communicated to that we are looking at the space and has been super excited. They know that we class up the neighborhood wherever we show up.
they at least bring people.
Perfect. I love that.
And
Yeah.
so especially Kori's design and the windows and the things that she does to make it look really cute. She's really well known in our neighborhood for her displays and the windows, and the neighbors just stop in and thank her for all that she does.
Yeah,
So,
just the pictures I saw online, it looks amazing, the store. And then, but you were sharing with me that you didn't hire an architect or a designer to kind of...
Yeah, we hired an architect,
You hired
but
an
not
architect,
a designer.
but not a designer.
So,
And so you're kind of designing everything yourself.
Yes,
And so,
and it's
what are the,
so
what are,
fun.
yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Any challenges you're running into? Or
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You know, those are the... But overall, it's been fairly easy. I mean, we've got a great crew of contractors and architect, and when I was looking at what kind of storefront do we want to do here, what used to be here, and it was like old drugstores, and so we're getting a lot of inspiration from, well, I am from like old French cafes and things like that,
Oh, I
with
love
really
that.
high windows and big wooden doors, and
yeah.
just inviting, you know,
Yep.
want it to feel really inviting for people. And we have plans for community events and really building up the neighborhood.
It's
you
a
know,
perfect
like,
street for that.
like
too.
last
Yeah.
Thursday used to be, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
let's figure out how we can do something like that.
Oh, I'm
and
down.
a
I'm
timeless
so excited.
aesthetic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I'm Northeast, and so I feel like I'm in this bubble of kind of not too much to do around. I've got to drive, and it's usually Montevilla, so I'm excited
Fun.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Gateway, and Gateway kind of has that feel like it's always trying to get there to
Yeah.
be a Montevilla, but
That's
it just
like
hasn't quite
like
gotten
near
there.
Roseway.
Yeah, Park
It's like
Rose.
it's
Park Rose.
Halsey. It's
Park
like
Rose.
Halsey and 102nd. That
Oh,
little strip
yeah.
there. They did just put a little nice little park in there, so
Yeah.
it's kind
That's
of
a
getting
big
there,
park,
but
yeah.
it's not quite there yet. So
Mhm.
Montevilla is kind of the spot.
And
It's always where I go,
Portland
yeah.
is changing, you know.
Always,
it's like
yep.
always growing, and you know, when we were looking really far out because we had a certain price range, of course, and so we're looking really far out, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, it's hard to imagine, you know, but this is an investment. And Jake's like, look at where we are. Like when we bought
Yeah.
the house we were in, it was just
Not.
nothing. It
Yeah.
felt like we were in the sticks, you know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
we're on this side of 60th. It's like kind of ridiculous to look back on it, but
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
the city grows and melds together, it's like,
So how long has the process of? So how long did it take for you to go through the process of purchasing this commercial
well, we're
building?
still in the process.
So it's still not 100%. So
right.
It's
Okay.
not
Well-
it's not 100% in the bag, but
yeah, pretty
we've got
far
all of our
along.
agreements along, and we've got
Mhm.
amazing bankers finishing up our process
Okay, what's
Yeah.
this when you
Good.
guys expect to be?
within the next 20 days.
Wow,
So it's
that's
coming right up. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're mostly at residential.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of commercial, no leasing. We've helped people purchase with the help of other people. But what are some of the pitfalls or things that
Yep.
maybe some of our listeners, if they're thinking about commercial real estate, that they would want to look out for? Maybe some of the mistakes you guys made or didn't make, but
We've
looked
had
out
a
for.
great realtor.
Yeah.
So super thankful for
Mhm.
that, and he's
Yeah.
really guided us smoothly.
Yeah, good.
Being open to listening and learning from those that are guiding you in the process, and
I like
if
that.
if they
Mhm.
say that there's a
really do.
potential change of use and you need to look into it, then look into it and leave
Right.
yourself lots of extra time, because at least right now the city is very slow with any responses
Oh
or,
yeah.
or anything that they're able to help with.
Yeah, it's like you think, oh, I'm going to get this building and I'm going to use it for this certain thing. And you find out, well, you're actually not allowed to use it for that unless you put $400,000 into it for all these different things.
I was going to ask you
it's
about
like,
that. Any retrofitting or anything you had to do to
we
make it?
will have to do some earthquake proofing
Yeah.
because it'll be retail, and but it was used as office, and it was an old bike shop before that, which is ironic because the place we're in now is an old bike shop,
And you guys love biking.
and we love biking.
Yeah.
It's all meant to
Our
be.
Portland package is all on 2 wheels.
They're all the two-wheel
coming
Portland
together.
package. Yeah. That's very Portland, right?
So Portlandy.
Actually, this has nothing to do with real estate, but for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, we did. We rented out a hotel down on the south waterfront, and then hired a pedicab, and schlepped 16 bikes down there, and
Oh my
we
goodness.
did a bike parade.
Oh.
Decorated
You
their
guys do love your bikes.
and we biked them all through, and it was so fun because the kids would go ahead and say 50th wedding anniversary, and then by the time my parents came along, everyone was like, woo!
That's so fun.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it actually happened. We didn't plan it, but it happened to coincide on the World Naked Bike Ride
I was
Day.
going to ask you
so-
about if you guys have participated in the naked bike ride.
Of
but-
course.
Yeah.
You guys
We-
have?
I have. I don't,
Have you participated?
Of course. Have you?
Of
You know, I
course.
think
Not
part of
bystander. You've been
part
on
of
the
what
bike.
makes you a
naked.
Portlander is when you leave your car at home and you venture out on a bicycle. That's what makes
So do
you
you
a true
start out
That's
Portlander.
when you, that's when you
Yeah.
converted
I have
into
questions about this naked bike ride.
But
Like,
the-
where do you decide to ditch the clothes? Like,
It's
do you
whatever
guys,
you're
like,
comfortable
go meet
with.
somewhere.
backpack.
Backpack. Got it.
or a
you're
hip
like-
holster if you're really cool.
Yeah. I'm always like, where do you guys decide to meet up and drop
Yeah.
the clothes?
I
Like,
wouldn't do it now because it's such a big affair that it's so crowded, and if you fell, it'd be disastrous. But
Yeah.
I just like,
a little scary.
yeah.
That's,
But it was a long time ago when
that's
I did.
the other thing that makes you a true Portlander is when you fall on the bike tracks.
Oh,
or
my
on
goodness.
the train
The
tracks.
train
Yeah, when I hit
bikes.
the tracks and go down for the
Yeah,
count. Yeah.
those
I've
are the
done
two
that,
things
yeah.
that make
Don't.
you.
Don't do
true.
it. It's
It's
not
not
fun.
worth the initiation.
I don't need that. I don't need that stamp.
It's not a good rite of passage.
Yeah, you don't.
So
you don't
you
want
have
that
as
one.
well, or just Corey?
What?
The bike
The
ride.
bike. The
Oh,
He's-
sure.
yeah, he's done
Yeah. Wait.
no. The falling on the train
Oh,
tracks.
no, I haven't.
Oh,
I
okay, got
haven't,
it. Okay,
But I've
got it.
witnessed it. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
It-
That is so funny. I don't know. I know I did in 6th grade. I went straight for a curb, and I don't know why. I just thought, like, go for it.
Go
Full
straight
speed.
into
I
it?
went straight into it. Didn't
Yeah.
turn, didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Flew over. So I think that was the only
6th
time.
grade. That's pretty old to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't honestly like brain malfunction or something.
Yeah.
I just chose not to do anything, and I went straight to
Well,
the
the
curb.
question is, did you get back on the bike, or
Oh,
have
heck
you
yeah.
not biked since?
No. I was a gymnast. I was always
Oh,
flipping
fun.
off of something,
Yeah, you
and so
probably rolled
yeah,
right out
it was
of it.
not normal for me to not like, jump it or do something. I have no idea, but that was
Yeah.
just my one like fall that was gnarly in front of a bunch of people, and
I've had one of those.
yeah, it was not cute at all.
So
And
do
I
you guys
cared a
bike
lot.
to work or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm a fair weather biker.
Fair weather biker, yeah.
For
I
sure.
should definitely
Go ahead and put up
categorize
that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I
I
don't
would be a
have all
very. I don't bike ride a lot, but I would be a very fair weather bike
Yeah.
rider.
I'd probably bike more if it
But
was.
there is a lot of troopers in Portland that aren't. They'll get out there no matter how hard it's raining, and
Yeah, that's
bikers.
not me.
yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive, but it's
Yeah.
not me either.
So if all things go well, when can we expect to go like down
Well,
Stark and
let's hope
hit
in-
up park and go see your
Yeah,
store?
I mean, we're doing a lot of construction to
Mhm.
the building. It has a barrel roof that is shrouded in 2 drop ceilings, so we're opening that all up
Oh,
and putting in
that's
the
gonna be beautiful.
storefronts, and
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing. So I'd say Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Putting
That's
the love out
exciting,
there.
yeah.
Love and light.
Love and light. That would make it
There you
actually
go.
very pull
Yeah.
it all together again.
There you go.
That's
Uh,
exciting. So, as we wrap up here, why don't you just tell everybody that's listening and watching, like, where can we find you now, and then where can we find you on Valentine's Day, and then how do we find you on social media and or wherever you like.
Give
to
us
be
the
contacted.
rundown.
Yeah, just
The
tell us
rundown.
where we can
Found-
find you.
Yeah.
So check us out online, obviously, flipsidehats.com. That's,
Okay.
you can do that in your skivvies, and no one will look twice. We'll put a hat on you.
And actually, at the end of the week, we're launching hatsforhealing.com.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
Those are
that'll
two
be live.
websites.
And then on
that
Instagram, let's see, I don't even do Instagram. So, I mean, Flipside does Instagram.
What's your
Flipside
IG?
does it.
I know. It's at, right? At
Yeah.
Flipside Hats.
At Flipside
And
Hats.
then
Okay.
Facebook
Same.
/Flipside Hats, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
I think
what
so.
it is?
Yeah.
I'm sure just Flipside hats will get you there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then tell us again your storefront currently.
Come on down to our showroom at 4438 Southeast Belmont Street. That's 45th and Belmont. We have a parking lot in the back. Happy to receive you 7 days a week.
Nice.
We're open from 10 to 4 on the weekends and 10 to 6 on weekdays. And come and knock on the door. We're there. We're happy to help you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun to have people
I
in
know.
the
I'm going
shop.
to
and
for sure.
And
They
I-
always look back and they're like, do you make these hats here? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually we do.
That's so cool.
And then a short bike ride away to Monte East in Montevilla. We'll be at 7850 Southeast Stark, right
That's
next
exciting.
to the Academy Theater.
I'm super excited.
And I'm
for
sure
that.
on all your social media and your websites and stuff, you guys will announce kind of when that
Yeah.
opens, but it should be around Valentine's Day. So.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
If we're allowed to have a party, we will have a party.
Awesome.
Good.
Well,
And you're invited.
We will be
hope-
there.
all of
yes.
us.
I hope
To
and
be
you're
there.
invited.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thanks for
us.
joining
Thank you
us.
so
and
much.
thanks everyone for listening, and have a great day.
Justin, you
Boom.
didn't fall asleep.
No, I didn't fall asleep. You didn't sleep.